So where are you gonna start? You want to start?
Yeah. Okay. Shit. I wasn't ready. Oh.
Oh man. I mean, I could start.
No.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So, what's his? Do you know what his middle name is?
Earl.
Really?
Yes.
Tom Earl Petty.
Thomas to be.
Thomas Earlsif Petty was born in a place called Gainesville, Florida. A place that I'm pretty familiar with, and I don't even know what to like. I don't even know how to start. Like, he's just the best. Like,
He's so the best. I mean, he's just got this I'm cool attitude. I mean, there's so many factors that go into that he didn't even necessarily do on purpose. It just happened that way for him.
yeah. And I've always So I feel a very strong connection with him, just because we were saying. So he's from Florida, I'm from Florida, and I've been to Gainesville. I have family that's been there. I had my ex-girlfriend live there for a while. Like, I played there with some of my old bands and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I've been around, and I've seen like where he comes from, and I feel like I understand him a little better.
Yeah. So what would you say? Like, what is it? What gives him that? Damn, he's so cool. Like, what?
It's not even so much the coolness
What is it?
factor as it is just like his whole like the Americana and like the, you got to be free. There's a whole big world out there.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like the worldview.
Yeah.
I just see totally being shaped by where he's from.
Okay.
Because Gainesville, Florida is a place where like the biggest thing going on in that town is they have the University of Florida.
Yeah.
Which is a shitty school.
Oh no.
And I'm definitely not just saying that because I went to Florida State. I would never
went
say
there.
that. Okay. Tom didn't actually go there, though.
No, but
Tom
there's
didn't
a
go
story
there.
about there.
What?
There's a story about him in there.
With like a tree or some shit?
Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
like, I didn't plant any trees there.
Yeah. Everyone in Gainesville just wants to ride the Tom Petty train. No. Okay. But he is definitely the most famous person to ever come out of Gainesville.
Okay.
For sure. Like, he's the favorite son of Gainesville to this day, I had to imagine.
That's wonderful.
But anyway, so I just feel like, because it's just really the story of Gainesville is the story of pretty much all small towns in America, I feel. Because it's like, there's not so much to do outside of certain things. Like, they have the school, right? But that's a very transient, like, population.
Yeah.
It's people, they'll be there for 4 years and they'll leave and they'll never come back.
Yeah.
Like, the people that are living in Gainesville for the school
Yeah.
are not the same as the people that are, like, from Gainesville.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I just see, it's like a place, it's like with like most small towns in America, it's like, you go to your job, you go home, you might be into like fishing or hunting or some shit, but it's like, besides that, it's like you go work your job, you go home, you like go to the bar, you know what I mean? It's like, there's only so many things to really do.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, like, if you're somebody like Tom, who has so much like passion and artistic ability,
Right.
and you want to make it big, like, your only option is to leave.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to happen for you if you stay there.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. I was like, if Tom was like a person that didn't really go for it like that, then what probably would have happened is, obviously we never would have heard of him. And he probably would have been someone that just goes to their job and is just depressed and is slowly like drinking themselves to death. Which is
Probably.
kind of what his dad was.
His dad was like that. Yeah. That's kind of crazy. But it's so interesting about Tom Petty, though. That whole the small town story. What's cool about Tom Petty to me is that he never appeared too green or too wide-eyed or too desperate. Like, and not only too desperate, but not too aggressive. Like, you have other rock and roll frontmen that were born in small towns, a special one comes to mind who shall remain nameless, but I feel like you're thinking, and that person kind of like took what he wanted, like very angrily, like when he left town, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like,
I'm not sure. There's so many people. I'm just,
all right, so I'm talking about Axl for like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
Axl kind of came in like a freight truck, like, you better
Yes.
get out of my fucking way. Like,
Yeah.
And Tom's approach is kind of like, well, I know I'm going to get it. And it's just like, he didn't know, but somehow, like, that's what I love about him. He's very secure, even when he doesn't know what the F is going to happen.
Right.
Like, and I think that's the coolest. He doesn't seem to like lose it, and he never seemed to.
Right. But I feel like that just has to be like a strong belief in himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, I know that I got this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just something that like carries through his music. Like, well, obviously we'll talk about this more, but I love his like his songwriting style is so like to the point.
Yeah.
He doesn't like fluff it up with a bunch of crazy words and it's not super complicated. It's just like, no, like this is what it is.
Yeah.
And he has the ability, which is something that I really love and respect. He can say so much with so few words. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like even like, you know, like she grew up in an Indiana town, had a good looking mama that never was around. It's like, that's the first line of the song. You already know what the whole song is about.
You already know.
You already get the whole vibe.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Like,
yeah.
One line.
Yeah.
You're
that's
like,
crazy.
I get it.
I think about the hook for a song like Breakdown, you know, and he's like, you know, he's just that breakdown, just give it to me. Like, he's like, kind of like showing like his whole emotion in that. And you can feel all of that just in, you get it like right away, like how he's feeling. It's not even like, oh, I just like you. He's like, come on. Like, he's like pretty much begging, but sounding cool about the begging.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so I actually want to tell you a story because I was talking to my mom about this because she went to the University of Florida and she actually moved there like a year or so after they left, after Petty left.
So what year is this?
This is like 77, 78, something like that.
Right.
And she said that when she got there was still such a buzz from him. His band at the time was called Mudcrutch.
Right.
And like she said that when she got there, everybody was still talking about Mudcrutch. They were like, "Yo, you just missed it. They were the best." Like blah 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 blah. And so you know he grew up there. And actually, it's really interesting. Like apparently, there's a few things that really got him into music and being a musician.
Yeah.
The first one was that he met Elvis.
Yes, on a movie set
in Ocala, Florida.
I've never been there.
Which has even less going on than Gainesville. No offense to anyone from Ocala. What I know Ocala for the most is that they have a great Chick-fil-A off the highway.
Woohoo!
It's huge.
I just hear, when I hear
Chick-fil-A.
those names, I just hear a lot of boating and fishing in my head. A lot of like, right? Just nice, windy, sunny days with some boating and fishing.
In tubing, there's like, I think it's the Withlacoochee River or something like that. Like as by Gainesville, it's like a big tubing spot. Yeah, and it's really nice out there. But that's the thing. It's like there's a lot of nature out there.
Yeah.
But like that's what I'm saying. It's like there's really not much as far as like industry and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
capitalism and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like when you make the decision, like I really want to go for it and make it big.
Yeah.
In not only entertainment, but really anything. I mean, business, like whatever. If you're in America, you pretty much have two options. You're gonna go to LA or you're gonna go to New York.
Yeah, that's true.
I think y'all know what decision I made. Tom went the other way.
Yeah.
He went to LA, which makes sense. The climate's a little more similar.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, he would have been pissed here in New York, I think.
Yeah, I don't think this would have been the place.
He would have been fist fighting like a mother effer over here. That's for sure.
I could see him busking though.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other story.